everyone, and welcome back to Chronic Corner. This episode is all about grieving your old self. Now, you may have heard this before in the dysautonomia or even chronic illness community. It's something that most people who have some form of chronic illness have felt at one time or another. So, grieving your old self, what does this mean? Since you have been diagnosed or started experiencing symptoms with some kind of illness, it's more than likely that you're unable to do the things that you used to be able to do, and you therefore are grieving your past self when you were healthy. Now, it's really difficult for a lot of people because you're leaving your old life behind. More than likely, you're losing friends. You can't do a lot of the activities you used to be able to do. You may or may not be losing your job. It's really hard to deal with. It's hard not to get depressed and start to just spiral out of control because everything that you knew in your life that defined you is gone in an instant. Now, one of the hardest parts about grieving your old self is when you miss milestones. I have been dealing with this my whole life, and I still struggle with not being jealous of others and what they can do, knowing that I can't do those things anymore. For instance, when it came to homecoming and prom, so I was diagnosed when I was 12, and throughout my entire high school years, I was going to an online high school, and on social media all the time, I would see my friends and my fellow students that I used to be friends with that now I wasn't, posting prom pictures and homecoming pictures and pictures at the football games every Friday. And it's really hard not to lose yourself and to constantly be jealous of everything people are doing. And then when I got older, it was hard watching all of my friends go off to college and getting their own apartments, getting these great careers and these great jobs, knowing that that's not the same path that I am going to be able to take. And it's hard, no matter what age you're at. It's something that all of us deal with, and it's important to remember, if nothing else, that your illness does not define who you are, and that because you're having these symptoms, you are still important and loved by people. It's important to remember this because a lot of the time when I was first diagnosed, I didn't want to tell people that I had POTS. I was very embarrassed by it, and I kind of kept quiet, mainly because people didn't know what it was, and they misunderstood it a lot of the time. It was hard to explain. It was hard for them to understand. So it was easier just not to say anything, and by doing this, nobody knew what was wrong with me, and a lot of friends that I had at the time had left because they thought I was making up all these symptoms and I wasn't seeing them ever. And it's important to remember what you can do and who you are aside from your illness. I learned after a long time of all the really important people in my life that have stuck by me, that support me, family and friends, and what I'm good at doing. Now, I'm sure I would be on a different path if I hadn't been diagnosed with POTS and never started having symptoms. And I'm not gonna lie, I think about that from time to time. Where would I be? What college would I have gone to? Where would I be living? What career path would I be in? But it's important to know that your illness doesn't define you. It's a part of you, but you are so strong for dealing with it every day. And it's important to remind yourself all the things you love about yourself, all the things that you're talented and good at, and to know that, yes, your illness is a part of you, but it's not just who you are. And it's important to know that it's okay to take the time to grieve after you start having symptoms and you realize that your life isn't ever going to be what it was. It's okay to accept and take the time that you need to accept this, because it's not just going to happen overnight. Like I said, it's been 10 years since I got diagnosed, and I still have days that I struggle with accepting that this is my life and that I can't do everything I want to do. But it's important, like I said, to focus on the good things and what you can do. So for more information, visit Dinet.org. Thank you so much for watching.